छोटी बहन है ना, वो हो गया ना, इसलिए एक बार जानना चाह रहा था।
हाँ, हो जाता है कभी कभी, ठीक हो जाता है। So we will start our class today, and those who are missing will see the recording. So I have forwarded you two books on this on life of Hahnemann. That is Ecce Medicus, and that one is homeopathic philosopher, medical philosopher by Richard Hughes. Have you gone through those books? Those are not books actually. Am I audible? Am I audible? Okay. Am I audible and clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Let us start. So in few initial classes, मॉडर्न में मिल जाएगा. One, give me a minute. Okay, in the initial few classes we have discussed about what we are going to deal in these classes are, and what are the motives of our classes. Okay, so we have promised to make these classes important and comprehensible. Okay, so today we will start with our proper class regarding. We have told that to understand homeopathic philosophy, you need to make homeopathic philosophy interested. You need to understand the life and the struggle of Hahnemann. Okay, and for that you have so many books in the market to go through. That Richard Hell's Life and Times of Hahnemann, and T.L. Bradford's book, that Life and Letters of Hahnemann. Okay, and one short book I am having is of Rosa Hobhouse. Okay, this is also a good book, but for our level of understanding, these books are very difficult to go through. Okay, this Richard Hell's book is coming in 2 volumes. Equally, the T.L. Bradford's book is coming with single and thick, is a thick volume. So for our understanding, what we need to understand, those 2 pamphlets are enough. Okay, by J.C. Barnett. One pamphlet is of J.C. Barnett and other is of Richard Hughes. Okay, one is Ecce Medicus. And what are those? Those are the lectures delivered by these 2 doctors in early 19th century or early 20th century or late 19th century, like that, in London School of Classical Homeopathy, where they have discussed in short Hahnemann's life and why it is necessary to go through these Hahnemann's life in order to understand homeopathic philosophy. If you can get me, I will show. Before I was making this diagram, that if you can get this, it is clear to. Is it legible to you? Can you read this? Can you read this, or it is showing reverse?
No, sir.
No,
We
sir.
can read
It is
this.
in mirror
No.
image. It is in mirror image. Okay. Okay, I will show you.
No, sir. It's clearly visible.
Okay. Now, is it clearly visible? Is it visible
Yes, sir.
now? Okay. What I was trying to do, I was trying to make Hahnemann's life on a single line diagram, and then was trying to sketch the development of homeopathy along that line. You can see this is the birth year of Hahnemann, 1755. This 1775, Hahnemann completed his primary education, means of the college education, 20 years of age, and he went to Leipzig at this period. Then 79 he went to Vienna, and then 80 around this period, Hahnemann got married, and around this period, Hahnemann left practice. See, left practice, and these heavy lines are years of wondering what to do. And this 1790, Hahnemann discovered homeopathy. Okay, this discovery of homeopathy followed by publication of it in 1796, essay on a new principle. So I was trying to match this Hahnemann's life with the development of homeopathy. Getting it? What I was trying to do just before, it's still an incomplete diagram. You can do it for yourself, for your understanding, after reading those two books. Okay. So today we will, in short, what are these and what is the benefit of reading Hahnemann's life? Here, what are the benefits of going through Hahnemann's life and how it is going to make our okay, so leave that diagram. Now we are trying to make our misunderstanding of homeopathic philosophy, development of homeopathic philosophy, combining with the life of Hahnemann. Okay, you need not to remember the whole 200 years or 500 years. You just need to remember the time period from 1755 to 1842. 1755, the birth year of Hahnemann, okay, to 1843, the death of Hahnemann. Meanwhile, what were the ages? What were the years, and what Hahnemann was doing at that period? If you can see that from 1881 to 1881 to 1790, when Hahnemann left the practice and Hahnemann discovered homeopathy. 1790. Okay, what Hahnemann was doing was translating lots of books. Do you think if he was not unsatisfied with allopathic practice, he would have discovered homeopathy? No, it was the zeal. It was his zeal of doing betterment for his society, for his community, which led him to discover homeopathy. Okay, that was the zeal, that was the inner desire. You can say when there is inner desire in you to learn something, all of a sudden you will fall on something, and that was the zeal of Hahnemann which led him to discover homeopathy. Okay, give me a second, let me correct the orientation of this here. I was saying about importance of knowing Hahnemann's life and combining it with the different phases of development of homeopathy. You can, what I am telling you is the gist of Ecce Medicus. Ecce Medicus, what this Ecce Medicus means? It means the doctor, Hahnemann's life as a doctor. And what is the other book is of Hahnemann's life as a philosopher, Hahnemann as a medical philosopher by Richard Hughes, and Hahnemann as a doctor by J.C. Barnett. These two books are very important to go through in order to comprehend the homeopathic philosophy and development of homeopathic philosophy from our point of view. Okay, so what is the importance? I was telling you that what is the importance of knowing Hahnemann's life. So Hahnemann's life, if I am a bit faster, stop me. If I'm not audible, stop me. If you're not getting my points, stop me and I will repeat it again. So you can divide Hahnemann's life from a pre-homeopathic era to homeopathic era. The pre-homeopathic era is up to 1790. 1790. Okay, and homeopathic era is from 1790 to 1843. Okay. Now again, this pre-homeopathic era, you can divide from birth 1755 to 1775. Okay. You can make a note of it to understand and construct your own line diagram. From birth 1755, you all know that Hahnemann has took birth in Meissen, a town in Germany. Okay, where Hahnemann's father was a porcelain painter. He was painting on the utensils of porcelain. Okay, so Hahnemann took birth as a third child of his parents, 1755 up to 1775. What all struggles Hahnemann was going through, and how Hahnemann was as a student, how much he was developed as a student till 1775. So you know that his father was a porcelain painter, and he don't want his son to means go on higher education. So he put his son for learning some trade, and Hahnemann was not interested in that trade. So he was continuing with his study without knowledge of his father. So many struggle Hahnemann took. Finally, his father agreed to bear the expenses of his this. In short, I am telling. Okay, bear the expenses of his education till 1775, when he graduated from that school, Father Muller, that St. Muller school, and he graduated with all the thesis. You know, the wonderful construction of human hand is one of the thesis Hahnemann wrote for his graduation from that St. Afra's school. Okay, and that article can be found in one of the collection of writings of Dr. Mahinder Singh. If I found somewhere, I will give it to you in the group. Okay, that wonderful construction of human hand. Until then, Hahnemann was expert in 8 languages. Later on, he grew up to learn 3 more languages. So altogether, he knew 11 languages. Okay, till 1775, he know altogether 8 languages, and here we are struggling with only English language. We are struggling with Bengali. We are struggling with Hindi. Try to learn as many languages as you can. It will make your further journey easier. Okay. So at 1775, Hahnemann went to Leipzig. Okay. Clear? In Leipzig, what he was doing? He was destined to accumulate medical knowledge. Just put a note, 1775. Okay, he graduated from that preliminary education of that time with a thesis, wonderful construction of human hand. It is a very useful article, shows the earlier influences of Hahnemann. The how Hahnemann was influenced by different personalities, and what was his analytical brain was developed till then. Okay, so if you go through this article, you came to know that Hahnemann was already reading Aristotle. Hahnemann was already reading Hippocrates and different philosophers of that time. So this primary education and learning of these 8 languages was going to help Hahnemann in his further studies. So Hahnemann, at the end I will show you a presentation for easier understanding. Just put a note of 1775, he went to Leipzig. Okay, Leipzig at that time has the famous university, Leipzig University. It is still there. It is one of the oldest university in the world, like Oxford and Cambridge. Okay, like Oxford and Cambridge, Leipzig University is one of the oldest university in world. He went there to learn this medicine, to learn this art of being a physician. Okay, there Hahnemann complains in his letter on memoir that there was no OPDs. Okay, where we can learn clinical part of medicine, medical system. The professors was giving lectures only. regarding anatomy, regarding physiology, regarding all the medical subjects. What the era I am talking about? I am talking about era of 1775. Okay, era of 1775. So, am I audible? As if there is a call here. It's in number 1. So I am asking, am I audible? Am I not disconnected? No?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I am talking about era of 1775. Leipzig University has only got the theoretical lectures on practice of medicine. Okay. No OPTs were there. No hospitals were there. No clinical classes were conducted. Now you correlate with our institution of our time. What sort of homeopaths are coming out of our institutions? Most of our institutions are not running OPD properly, have no hospital properly, no in bed. On the paper, there are hospital beds, IPD running, OPD running, but in most of our institutions throughout India, many of our institutions are no clinical classes on the patient. Okay, there are so many good institutions which are following IPDs and OPDs, but there are many institutions you can not imagine from where they are running out. Okay, so these are the aspects of present day education of homeopathy and correlate with the education during Hahneman's time and from what he was dissatisfied from the very early age, that he understand that you need clinical bedside, you need clinical classes to learn medicine. So he learned medicine in Leipzig University from 1775 to 1779. Okay, put a note of period 1779. Okay, if there is any network problem, you can put my lecture in audio mode. Okay, I have to record this video mode so that it can be recorded for others who are not able to join us now. Okay, so 1779 he went to Vienna. Vienna is a town in Austria at that time, and it has a wonderful university, Vienna University. Have you heard about that? University of Vienna? University of Vienna. Many of stalwarts of medicine are from University of Vienna. You can name Sigmund Freud of psychology. Okay, that means one of the famous nephrologists was also from Vienna. Our own James J.C. Barnett, he was an allopathic physician educated in Vienna. Recently, we conducted a seminar here 2 years ago. Many of you may be aware of that. At DND Hospital, we have conducted a seminar where we invited Dr. Michael Frass. He is from University of Vienna, and he is doing their homeopathic medicine in ICU, emergency medicine. We cannot think homeopathy in emergency. We homeopath, and he is a ICU specialist, emergency medicine specialist. Here is his book, Dr. Michael Frass. He is a resident surgeon. He was a resident surgeon of University of Vienna, and we have invited him. Okay. In the same seminar, Dr. Peter Morel came, who discussed the journey of Hahnemann in Vienna, the learning of Hahnemann in Vienna. Okay. Michael Frass. This is his book, Homeopathy in Critical Care, Emergency Medicine. Okay. So we have invited him. So this was Vienna. Vienna University from the very beginning has the clinical classes. Okay. So it was the zeal of learning for Hahnemann to learn the clinical side of medicine, which took Hahnemann to Vienna. Hahnemann spent 9 months there. What era we are talking about? It is 1779. Okay, 1779. 1779. Okay. Here Hahnemann spent 9 months. Why 9 months only? Is 9 months enough to understand clinical medicine? Is 9 months enough to understand clinical medicine? Anyone? Any answer? He spent
No,
9 months only. Not at all. 9 months is not enough. But Hahneman was forced to stay only for 9 months because he was lacking in funds. Okay? And you must have came across a question. Hahneman did his MD from which university? From which university? It was not, of course, it was not University of Leipzig. No,
Leipzig,
not
sir?
Leipzig. No, Leipzig. He graduated from Leipzig, but post-graduation done from, it's of course not University of Vienna because it was from Erlangen University. Erlangen University. Erlangen University. He did his MD and thesis was on the treatment of sores of foot. Okay, so these are the historical important things, but we are discussing the time frame. We have traveled up to 1779. Okay, he visited Vienna, stayed there for 9 months with Dr. Querin. Dr. Querin. Okay, and he loved Hahneman so much that he allows his personal visits apart from hospital visits in hospital. He allowed Hahneman to accompany him with personal visits. So Hahneman was learning fast with Dr. Querin, and later on comment that whatever doctor, whatever of physician I am in, there is in me, it is due to Dr. Querin. Dr. Querin was again allopathic physician. It was 1779. Then he went on to take the post of a librarian because he was lacking in funds, struggle here. So he took a post of librarian to a Nawab of a Nawab library, and he studied there for a few years. In around 1781, he went on to be a medical officer in a small town, and he settled down in around 1782, like that, and he got married to a chemist daughter. Okay, first marriage. After settling down, what people will do? Why people postpone their marriage? नहीं, अभी अपने पैरों पे खड़ा होना है, उसके बाद शादी करेंगे. So that was the thing. Around 1782 or 81, Hahneman got married. Don't remember exact date, but I am just discussing the time frame. Around 1782 or 81, Hahneman married to daughter Henriette Kuchler, daughter of a chemist, where Hahneman is working as a lab assistant. Further, he around 1783. This period is very crucial. 1783. He was dissatisfied with allopathic practice. Okay, he was totally dissatisfied because there was no exact treatment. There was mixture. We will read about mixture in introduction, and all sort of practice of olden days, that bloodletting, that leeches. Hahneman grew dissatisfied, and not only dissatisfied, he was searching for something. From 83 to 1790, okay, he was searching for real cure, real method. He was in desire. So one lesson we are getting from this: you have first and foremost step to any success. You need to have a desire. Okay, to become a good homeopath, to become a good physician, you need to have a desire to become. First, the burning desire. If you examine the life history of all the great men, okay, what led Gautam Buddha from Kapilvastu, the kingdom of Kapilvastu, to go and roam in jungles, to roam here and there in the towns, that was a dissatisfaction, that was a desire, and finally he attended his satisfaction in the Gaya. He attended that Gayan. Same thing happens with Hahneman. This is only one example. There are lots of examples where a great man in the history got dissatisfied with the prevalence culture, with the prevalence mode in their field. So Hahneman became dissatisfied, and there was a desire to do something. Then Hahneman started what he started? He started to translate things. Okay, he started to translate books, and with that desire, he was searching that what is this, and all of a sudden in 1790, put a note of this date, 1790. What happened in 1790? What happened in 1790?
He
1790.
translated William Cullen's Metria Medica.
Okay, and found that cinchona, incidentally, that why cinchona is treating ague. He found that it was due to similar nature. Okay, and when he first published this book, his doctrine, when he published, he found 1790. He found it, discovery. But the doctrine, this discovery was published to world in which year? Anyone?
1796.
1796. You can type in chat box also. Anyone can type in the answer in the chat box in front of me. Okay, 1796. Okay, so he took this 6 years to confirm and reconfirm his discovery. Okay, this is the mode of Hahneman's understanding and Hahneman's working. It was not quid in Buckham Vanet. Whatever come in your mouth and you will tell. It was well thought of statement. At that was essay on a new principle, and this is, according to many of the homeopathic historians, this is the birth year of homeopathy, not 1790. Don't confuse with that. That was a discovery, but Hahneman took 17 years, 6 years. Hahneman took 6 years to publish the doctrine to the world. It was 1796. Now again, working and shifting places. Okay, shifting places from one place to another place. He shifted from a bigger town to a smaller town to a villages because of lack of funds. When he got funds, then he was forced to shift due to enmity with other school of practitioners, with other practitioners. Okay, now I want you to open this Organon of Medicine. Open Organon of Medicine, preface to first edition. Preface to first edition. Preface to first edition. Have you opened? Now see the date there. See the date there. What is the date? What is the date?
1810.
1810. What is the place?
Leipzig.
Leipzig.
Leipzig. Okay, 1810, and Hahneman was, but at that period, Hahneman shifted to Leipzig in 1811. Okay, 1811. The book was published from Leipzig. That is why it is written Leipzig here. Hahneman shifted to Leipzig in 1811. He was in Dresden at the time of publication. He was in Dresden, a smaller town. Okay. Now you remember date 1805. 1805. What was the publication in 1805? What was the
Sir,
publication in
Hoffland's
1805?
Hoffland's
Ah.
Journal.
Right? Hafez Journal was a journal published quarterly or monthly.
Medicine of experience.
Medicine of experience, along with one more thing was published. Okay, medicine of experience, very good. And
Term
Fragmenta.
Odisepede.
No, term Odisepede comes in the second edition. Okay, Fragmenta, 1805. Okay, 1805. These two books. And now I want you to open Translator's Preface. Translator's Preface. Open Translator's Preface by Dozen. Have you opened it? Now, read from the third line. Third line. I have given all more important variation. Oh, fourth line. I have also indicated. Someone volunteer yourself to read that.
Indicated the corresponding views as set forth in the essay on a new principle and the medicine of experience, both of which essays may be regarded as a precursor of Organon.
Okay, underline this. Underline this. I want you to read up to this only. Underline this. Essay on a new principle and medicine of experience, precursor of Organon. There are other precursors of Organon also, but according to Dozen, these two are the main precursors of Organon. Okay, first edition came in which year? First edition came in which year? Now only we have discussed 1810. Okay, and these two precursors came in 1805. Now that from the discovery to the publication of the first edition, it took almost 20 years. Okay, so it was not at all quid in vacum venit. Not at all whatever comes in mouth. It was a well thought of doctrine. Okay, Hahneman took his time to develop his thesis. Hahneman took his time to pronounce to the world the discovery, to pronounce the system he was working on. 1810. Now come to this. From that precursor of Organon line, come to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ninth line from that. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seventh line from that. Seventh line from that. You will get translating Cullen's Materia Medica, 1790. Essay on a new principle, underline that. Underline the date, 1796. 1796. 9 years after that, 1805, Medicine of Experience. Underline this. Medicine of Experience, 1805. This Medicine of Experience is an article. Aphoristic way of dealing is in Organon, but medicine of experience is more or less same what we will get in Organon, but in essay type. Okay, but in essay type, it is available in the lesser writing. Go in the library if you are not having this lesser writing of the Hahneman. You can search in the library and go through medicine of experience, and you will get whatever written in Organon. There is same way is written in medicine of experience, but in the essay type, not in aphorism style. Okay, so 1805 medicine of experience. Now go on underlining that first edition, 18010. Underline these with green pen. These dates are very important for your examination also, for your entrance examination in MD also. Okay, these dates, and by discussing these things, this is easier for us to remember. Now you cannot forget these things because we have added stories to these dates. Okay, you are not going to forget these things. 18010, first edition. Second edition, 1819. 1819. Now open preface to second edition. Open preface to second edition. Have you opened it? Have you opened it? Now look at the date. Look at the date. What date is written there? What date is written there?
1818.
1818. So why this conflict? Only 1818 is written there, or something else? Or something else?
End of the year 1818.
End of the year 1818. That is why the date of publication of the second edition is considered to be 1819, and this is the right answer for your MCQ. Okay, 1818 in Leipzig. Okay, in Leipzig. Now come back to the translator preface by Dudgeon. Third edition, 1824. Third edition, sorry, third edition, 1824. Fourth edition, got it? Just mark the edition, mark the date. Fourth edition, 1829. Okay? And I want you to read this sentence. Read this sentence from fourth edition. Please read it. Read it loudly for others also.
The fourth edition, which of
Okay. Read. Trisha, read.
the fourth edition, which offers some important variations from the text of its immediate predecessors, chiefly determined by the new theory of chronic diseases, bears
Now
the
underline
date
this.
of 800.
Underline this. Okay. Bears the date of 1829. Thank you. Theory of chronic disease. Underline this. Theory of chronic disease. We all know that this theory of chronic disease comes in publication of chronic disease. Theory of chronic disease comes in which year? Publication of the book Theory of Chronic Disease in which year?
Sir, 1829.
29 is fourth edition of Organon. The book published in the book Chronic Disease. This is the theoretical part, a small part. There is practical part also. It comes in 2 volumes. Hahneman's Theory of Chronic Disease. It was published in 1828. Okay, it was published in 1828 and incorporated in the 4th edition. So 4th edition comes in 1829. 4th edition comes in 1829. Underline this. Now I want you to read this fifth also. That sentence. Fifth.
The fifth and the last edition, published in 1833, contains several novelties such as the theories of vital force and the dynamization of the medicines.
Okay. Next.
In previous
So underline
edition,
this. Underline this. Fifth and 1833. Vital force and dynamization of medicine. So here it is saying that vital force incorporated in 5th edition, theory of vital force. Now one of the important point I want to discuss with you, that post-Hahnemanian, post-homeopathy era of Hahnemann's life can be divided into the era of scientific development and the era of philosophical development. Okay, what I'm saying, mark my words. Post-discovery, post-homeopathy era, from 1790 up to the death of Hahnemann, up to 1843, can be divided into 2 parts. First, era of scientific development of Hahnemann, of homeopathy, and next, the philosophical development, what we call metaphysics. Okay, what we call metaphysics, metaphysical development of homeopathy. You will get theory of vital force. You will get in this era, which start in the period of Cothen, when Hahnemann was forced to leave Leipzig and settle down in Cothen in 1821. Hahnemann come to Leipzig in 1811 and he started teaching his doctrine in the University of Leipzig, and then he was forced to leave Leipzig by his enemies, who was making trouble to him, who was doing trouble to him. Okay, he was forced. Why he was forced, we will discuss someday. But he was forced to leave Leipzig and went on to live in Cothen. Okay, went on to live in Cothen. Okay, Cothen is a small town where Hahnemann spent his last days in Germany before leaving for France. Before leaving to France. Okay, so open the preface to fourth edition. Preface to fourth edition, and you will get the date of 1829 and the place of Cothen. So this can be divided, post homeopathy discovery era can be divided to Leipzig era or to the scientific development of homeopathy, and to the Cothen era or to the metaphysical development of homeopathy. Okay, so we are seeing theory of chronic diseases in Cothen era, theory of vital force. What is metaphysics? Something spiritual, no scientific basis, but there is a philosophical gradient to that. Okay, vital force. You cannot prove the existence of vital force with science. You cannot prove the existence of theory of chronic disease with science. You cannot prove with science that dynamization. Okay, there are people who are considering all these things absolutely rubbish, like Dr. Richard Hughes. Dr. Richard Hughes. Okay, he was against this theory of chronic disease. He was against this dynamization. He was against this vital force. All this. He was taking only the scientific portion of homeopathy till the life of Leipzig, life in the Leipzig. Now, why it was that metaphysical shift? According to Richard Hughes, Hahnemann was getting older, okay, and he was doing mind job rather than the clinical job, which is absolutely not true. Okay, which is not true. But for our understanding, we have to read both the counterparts. Okay, so it is important to know that in which era of Hahnemann's life, which thing was incorporated. We all know the LM potency comes in the era of France. Again, you can, this metaphysical era of Hahnemann's life or development of homeopathy can be divided to the era in Germany up to 1834 before the marriage with Malini, and to the era in France. In France, he developed this LM potency, the 50 millisimal potency, and how and why he developed this potency. Further, he was working on to Q potencies, further modification of LM potency, which we are not knowing what was that. Okay, so he went on development his homeopathy throughout his life, and that is one of the important lessons from the life of Hahnemann. We are getting that you need to develop yourself from cradle to grave. Okay, from cradle to grave. पैदाइश से मौत तक Hahnemann सीखता रहा. Okay, and that is an important lesson you are getting. Now come back to this 1833 vital force incorporated in 5th edition. But read this second last paragraph of 4th edition. Second last paragraph of 4th edition. Okay, read it. Please read it. Second last paragraph of preface to 4th edition.
Sir, is it all these unnatural human doctrines?
No. Second last.
Second
But
last.
as what hitherto been termed.
Fourth edition.
4th edition. Preface to 4th edition.
Last second para. I can't find it.
Preface to 4th edition. Anyone have found it? Can go on reading.
But as what has hitherto been termed healing art was a merry imperfect imitation of those unhelpful, useless, not infrequently injurious efforts and operations of the instinctive, unreasoning vital force, misnamed nature. When left to itself in disease, it will, I think, be considered that before me the true healing art was not discovered.
Now, why I wanted you to read this para? Because here it is mentioned vital force, misnamed nature. We all know the vital force came in which edition? Vital force came in, theory
Fifth
of vital force
edition.
came in fifth edition, but in the fourth edition, we are getting a mention of vital force. Okay, so there was all before that only Hahnemann have developed this theory of vital force, and after confirming this, he incorporated in fifth edition. So fifth edition has got theory of vital force and theory of dynamization. Now, because Duggan's translation is up to fifth edition, okay, okay. So Duggan is not talking about the novelties in sixth edition. What were the new things added in sixth edition? Duggan is not talking about. Okay, you will get these in this book by Bijan is incomplete without Borik's translator preface. We all know that Borik also translated, is it not? Borik translated sixth edition. So
Yes, sir.
there should be a preface of Borik also. There should be a preface of Borik also.
Yes, sir.
Is it not? Okay, but it is not there in this Bijan's publication. The book is incomplete without Borik's preface as a translator. You get this introduction by James Cross to Borik's translation. Okay, you are getting introduction by James Cross to Borik's translation, but you are not getting Borik's preface. What the preface Borik has written? It is one of the must to go through for us. What we are studying nowadays is the fifth and sixth edition combined. It is Indian edition. Someone have combined this in in 1971. Someone, we don't know who have combined this excellent book, that fifth and sixth edition he combined in 1971. Most often, most people say that it was Dr. B.K. Sarkar who combined this. Okay, but we don't know exactly who combined this fifth and sixth edition. Okay, and there is a miss which is of Borik's Borik's preface to his translation of sixth edition. I have that in soft copy form. I will share it in group. Read that. Go through that. Okay. So sixth edition have some novelties also. The LM potency.
Sir,
हाँ
sir, sixth edition में तो दिया है two doctors Boric translation of the sixth edition of
हाँ, that is introduction
Hahneman's.
by James Cross. That is introduction by James Cross. Any book
अच्छा,
may contain introduction, but it is not the preface of Borik. The original preface of Borik is missing here in our combined edition. It is there in the sixth edition. एक अलग से book आती है, sixth edition by William Borik. It is there in, but it should be included here. I will share this in group. You just print out it and paste it in your book. It will be helpful. Okay, Borik's preface to his translation of sixth edition. Okay, I will share in the group. So now I want you to open one by one. Open one by one. This book I want you to open, and we will wrap up for today. This is a book I am following since my first year, so it is not in a great form. I have read it a lot. I try to finish it every 2 or 3 months by going line by line. Still, I have so many new books of Organon also, but I like the energy this book is containing. I am following this since my first year. Okay, first open this. You will get the title. We will just introduce this book to you. Okay, so that next class after a presentation we will enter into the text directly. Organon of Medicine. This is the title page. You will get this Ode Sapere, this Samuel Hahnemann, and his motto of Ode Sapere. All of us know that Ode Sapere was included from the second edition. Then you will get translated from fifth edition. Translated from fifth edition with an appendix by R.E. Duggan, MD, with addition and alteration per 6th edition, translated by William Borick, and introduction by James Cross. This is the title page. This is the title page. Okay. After that comes the inner page. The inner page, same, you will get same title page, what is written there, Organon of Medicine and all that, same thing. I have quoted a quotation here from August Bayer. It is possible to get wisdom and foolishness in Organon. It is possible to get wisdom, you can write it in your text also. It is possible to get wisdom and foolishness in Organon depending upon the inherent tendency of reader. Okay, you may get foolishness in Organon, you may get wisdom in Organon depending upon your inherent tendency. If you are having an inherent tendency of foolishness, you will get foolishness. Who is saying that? August Bayer. He was a medical philosopher. He told us that depending upon the inherent tendency, you will get both foolishness and wisdom in Organon. Now, you will get, next you will get translator, preface to the first edition, preface to the first edition. Next you will get preface to the second edition. We are skipping all those extras, forward and all those. Different books have different forwards. Before that you will get translator's preface, next second edition preface, then third edition preface, then fourth edition preface, then fifth edition preface, then this introduction by James Cross. Here only there should be a preface by Borick. A preface by Borick. Okay, the preface I will share. Please print it out and stick it here, paste it here. Then James Cross introduction, then the preface, author's preface. Author's preface and translator's preface are totally different. Introduction of James Cross is different and introduction of Hahneman is different. Okay, then you came across content. Just fill up the page with me. Got it? The content, you got content? Have you got content? Just reply in chat. Okay. Content. Here you will get two-part introduction. 3 sections are there. We will discuss it later. This is very important. Text of the Organon. Here you will get short summary. Short summary of your aphorisms. Okay. It is very useful. Like go to 150. I will just giving some example. Go to 150 content. 150. What is there? 150. What is there?
Slight ailments.
Slight ailments. All of us know that 150 discusses the indisposition, and other name of slight of indisposition is slight ailment. You may be asked question about slight ailment or indisposition. Another name for this indisposition Kent is giving is mimicking sickness. Mimicking sickness. You can add here slight ailment with mimicking sickness. Okay. So these are the examples we will discuss when we go to the text content. After that, you will get content of appendix. Content of appendix. Okay. Next thing, you have to mark that content is up to 5th edition only. 5th edition only. Content is not containing the 6th edition. Okay. Next, appendix. Content of appendix. Content of appendix. It is made by Dozen. Or content of appendix. No, it was again made by that person who have combined this edition. Okay, not by Dozen. This content. Appendix was written by Dozen and table of concordance was written by Hughes. Next, you will encounter the introduction. You will encounter the introduction. Introduction carries altogether 99 or 100 paragraphs. I want you to number these paragraphs. So when we will read these introduction, we can refer them as paragraph number. Okay, and then finally, after flipping the pages, you will come to the text proper, Organon of Medicine, aphorism number 1 to aphorism number 94. Okay. So in short, I have given you a summary starting from the life of Hahneman to development of the homeopathic philosophy through ages. Now we have told that those theories which have been developed in later period have been told by many authors as romance of homeopathy. That is nothing to do with the scientific temperament. Okay, but this is not altogether correct. Okay, theory of chronic disease is as important as the similia similibus curanter. Doctrine of dynamization is as important as the similia similibus curanter. Okay, the theory of minimum dose, Hahneman was going to this, minimizing his doses from 1897 because he encountered homeopathic aggravation in one of his patients and he tried to minimize his dose and written in 1802. Write this, 1802, again a milestone. 1801, again a milestone. 1801, smaller doses of belladonna. From here, the journey started of minimum doses. Okay, journey of minimum doses started from here. When Hahneman encountered homeopathic aggravation, he started to give his medicine in smaller dose. Okay, clear? So this is in short, we have discussed why the life of Hahneman is important in order to understand homeopathy. Okay, anyone having any question can go and ask so that we can address that in next 5 minutes. You can ask in chat box also. You can give your suggestion or ask question. If you have not got any points, please tell me. We will discuss it again in next 5 minutes time. Okay, next day we will go to a presentation and something about the aphorisms. Okay, we will divide the aphorisms. Okay, 5th edition, 6th edition. Next day we will deal with that. Okay. Meanwhile, I will share the Borix translator people in the group. Go through that. Okay. Thank you for patience hearing and giving me attention for 1 hour. Thank you, everyone.